A retail theft mission led to the arrest of dozens of people, including one for an out-of-state homicide. Yesterday, police did a retail theft mission in the Mall 205 and Gateway areas. They were able to recover $31,000 in stolen merchandise, a majority of which is tied to a theft from a Seattle Lululemon location. 3 people tied to the Lululemon theft were arrested in a car. One of those people had an arrest warrant for a homicide in another state. In total, the theft mission required 28 people were arrested in it. A gun was recovered and more than 10 grams of meth was found.
Students